Oh, guess what? Finally, did you have trouble with your Schmincke granulating color order? It's not that I had trouble, it just felt like it took a decade, but that's okay because they're here and I'm so excited. Plus, there's a lot of goodies in this box from Jackson's. Now, this is a leftover haul from my birthday. If you're just getting clued into my channel just now, I had a birthday in August and it was early August, and that kind of kicked off the wish list purchased because Jackson's had a huge sale. And you know, a girl's got to take advantage of a great watercolor sale, especially when I was in need of things like this and in need of things like this and in need of lots and lots of brushes. So what can I say? It's still coming in, but it's been really exciting. And you guys have been on this journey with me. So I have never actually bought any of the granulating colors from Schmincke. And I have tons of Schmincke paint, but my method behind this was that I love to mix colors. So it's not like I haven't been really doing a lot with granulation. I actually have, and you've seen it if you follow me on Instagram or you're in my group page on Instagram, which is linked up in the comment section below. But I mix my own granulating colors because lots of the colors that come in all of the Schmincke sets are granulating. So I just take a single pigment granulating color or even a double pigment granulating color, and I mix it with another granulating color, and thus I have super granulating colors all over the place and ones that I actually like. So I never really got into these adorable little boxes, but this has been the wood box birthday, obviously. So everything that comes in a wood box, I kind of managed to buy. So I did order some of them. So I think the rest of them are in here. And as a bonus, everything that I ordered in tube paint is going into these nifty little swatches that I am making for you guys. So I have Winsor Newton swatches, I have core swatches. I mean, basically all the tube paints that I am getting in from this birthday, I have completely swatched out in like great detail. And I'm going to be sending these packets to you guys from my group page on Facebook. That's right. So when you use my affiliate link to make any of the purchases for any of the items that you see on my channel, any affiliate income, it's just a little bit, but it all goes towards good stuff. So what I do is, since I pay for all my things with my own money, I'm going to use the affiliate links to send free gifts to you guys, which I already started doing. This past month, I actually sent 6 full-size watercolor palettes to one of my group members. And I've sent out various other things as surprises to my students, as well as people that are taking the challenges in the group. So if you are one of the watercolor students that just signed up for my September 1st watercolor journaling for beginners course that is available at jacquelinejacks.com, and I will leave you links below for all of these things, then you are probably going to win a free gift from me, which is really cool, especially if you're on the group page entering the challenges. So the more active you are, and especially like if you go on the group and say, hey, I just purchased this stuff, then I know that you've purchased and I enter you to win. So you win-win no matter what with me. And I just want to keep you motivated, really. That's all I'm doing. So I got this Strathmore watercolor journal. It's a 400 series. I don't paint on Strathmore because I really love arches. And as you can tell, I was up doing some more bookbinding just the other night, and what I did was I ordered some Hahnemühle watercolor paper. So from one pack of paper, I actually got this great big old sketchbook that I was able to make, and it's really cool because it opens up, and I made it so that the majority of the pages, like if it's this page, then it's the back of the Hahnemühle, but if it's like these, then it's the front side. So I can actually do a ton of like full things. And this is why I like to make my own watercolor journals, because they really don't make cool watercolor journals in this size from these really nice 100% cotton papers. And as you can tell, I'm getting better at it, right? This one is actually sewn in some parts. And then I have these little like protector sheets in between the other parts where I messed up. And it's got even watercolor at the very end glued to the back. So I'm getting better as I go on. And then I did one of this Arches. I got the cold press fine grain, another one of my favorite papers. But, you know, Arches is my all-time favorite paper. So don't even ask if I'm using it. I am every single day. I do like make the sketchbooks just so that I can use Arches in my sketchbooks. I literally love it. But when you purchase like your watercolor paper, if you are purchasing Arches when they have sales, you should be able to get this for $19 for a full gummed sheet. It's not a block, it's a gum sheet. So I think there's 12 sheets in it, which will make a 24-page sketchbook. See what I mean? So, and they don't sell sketchbooks in Arches. You have to go to a custom vendor, and that can be really expensive on shipping. So I just get them and I'm making them myself, and I'm getting better. This is my last sketchbook I've just made, and look at how much better it is. I seriously, I'm getting better, guys. Look, it like opens. It's got a nice like binding in the areas where you could see the stitching, so it's covered, and then the rest is all front side of Arches watercolor paper so that I can do full spreads, and there's lots of signatures, you know what I mean? And in between for swatching, I'm going to do swatching and sampling on the back side. So excited about that. So in any case, getting back to this, I got one of these because I love to create these swatch books. So as I get new paint in, I haven't been doing these. I've been doing like full sheets. So I've got to get back to sampling all of my watercolors in these, and these are full. Yes, I have done a lot of swatching, and I know a lot about these different brands of watercolor, in case you were wondering. So if you have a question, just go ahead and ask. I'm not great with like knowing the pigment base of every one, but we can look that up. I do know the quality of the colors and whether or not they move, travel, or, you know, fade, and how they perform. And that's what I look for, is the performance, you know. So I'm going to start this one out with all the granulating colors and go into custom granulating mixes that I make with these new colors. So this is going to be really fun and a huge series on my channel moving forward. And I just wanted to let you know about it in like the big conversation. So let's talk about granulating watercolor, and let's get closer, shall we? Okay, so when it comes to granulating watercolor, I've always kind of been on the fence whether I should get these pre-done mixes or not. And I think mainly that's because I always wonder if they're going to be the colors that I really like, and if I'm going to be kind of stuck with colors I don't like. But after watching many tutorials from all of you on swatching these colors, I kind of narrowed down to some that I really loved. I also really love these wooden boxes, which was a big selling point for me because I can put pans in them and then create. I thought what I would do in my series is just create pans of each one of these, and then use the rest to either swatch and send out free samples so you guys can have those, or put extra pans in here and mix up some of my own custom versions of these colors. So each one will contain the actual samples of these, which I will do a little custom swatch card, and then those will be there, and then we'll have the custom ones behind it, which will be really fun and exciting to do for sure. Right? Don't you agree? So there's the plan. Okay. These are nice. So I'm really excited to swatch. I think today we're going to open this box and take a look at some of the colors, but I'm not really sure which ones yet. This one has, this is the Deep Sea set, and it has Deep Sea Black, which I'm really excited about because you know what? I do not have, I have some granulating blacks, and they've mixed them with red to make cherry and some blues to make some really neat granulating indigos. But I was curious about the Deep Sea Black because I would love this to not be dusty when it dries. So I'm curious to see if that's the case. So we probably will swatch that today. Deep Sea Green, I mean, I'm really hopeful, right? I'm so hopeful that this is going to be like one of my cobalts. It's got PG29 and PG18. Then deep sea blue. Yeah, this is going to be gorgeous. PG50, PV16, and PB29. So as you can see, PB29 is like a central theme in some of these for sure. Actually, almost all of them. Yep. So in 3 of the 5, PG29 takes center stage. And then PG18 is in 2 of the 5. And PG35 is one of the ingredients. PBK11, PB74, which I don't think I have that one. Anyway, this is a great way to learn about pigment. It really is, by just studying what makes these up and then going and trying to mix your own PG18 and PB29 to see what you get and all the ranges, you know? So that's going to be really fun. So it's deep sea green, you get deep sea blue, deep sea violet, which has to be a granulate. I mean, you've got to have a violet. Deep sea black, which I'm really curious about, and deep sea indigo, which is going to certainly cure my need for an indigo. And it comes in this cute little Schmincke box that you'll have forever as a keepsake. So you can make your own watercolor palette out of this, which I think is adorable because it could be a travel palette. And all you really have to do is just put magnets on the bottom of these and get these. And if you need a link to find these on Amazon, I can give them to you. This set comes with these little circles and also little squares. And what these are little metal plates that have adhesive on them. So if they don't stick, you can always add glue, but like you just put them, whether it be square or whatever, and then see? Then now you have a way to like customize this. And I'm thinking that surely somewhere along the line, I've got a brush. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. So the travel brushes from Escoda, the silver ones fit, not the big ones, just the small ones. So they fit in there, which is really all you need. Or I'll bet the Toretto brushes also fit, which is another travel brush that I really love. That is actually right now in my, I don't see it. It's in my little pochade box because I was using it the other day. So, but in any case, anything that is a 4 or a 6 should be small enough to fit in this box. So you could use that. And that's a great way to customize this. This was from the green set, by the way. I know a lot of you guys got the green set. There's also a small one in the black set. But probably this one, you wouldn't be an all-time useful brush. That's a really good brush for specific things. But in the green set, this you could use for most projects. It's a really nice one. It's Ultimo size 4. It's got a nice big belly, and it will certainly work, you know. It's a nice brush. Okay, so that's what's in here. We will be customizing this later. Let's go ahead and open the box, because we have gone over quite a bit and I'm dying to get to this, to see what's in here, you know, but at least we opened one of them so far. Okay, coming up, I still have these Roman small paints to go through too. All right, let me raise you back a little bit. There we go. You actually have a nicer view than I do. Oh, yay, the High Chroma. Awesome. So this is another project, the core project. So I'm obviously going to have several series mixing these colors and painting with all of the chroma paints, as well as, so the High Chroma, and then I got the basic set, the introductory set. So I'm going to be creating one palette out of all 12 of these colors, so that now I have a great range, because in the first set, I should get it for you so you can see it. The first set, this one, is the introductory set. So I thought I would get both sets so that I would have a full range of colors. This gives me a full range of these colors, plus these really amazing little tins, which I think are adorable. You know how much I like these little tins and boxes. So I already poured the introductory set. Clear some space here. Always sticking my fingers in paint. I already poured the introductory set, and I actually sampled a bunch of these for you guys. So those of you who took the challenges, the painting challenges in the group page this past month of August, those are right here. So I have 3 winners that are going to receive core paints. This is a nice range. You can mix a lot from these, and this is a lot of paint from the introductory set. And then another 3 winners are going to get samples from the High Chroma set, and this will be for winners in September since it just got here now. We're end of August right now. So in this set, the Chroma, you've got the Dioxazine Purple, which is one of my favorite purples, PB23. That I feel like is a must for, I'm going to get this out of here. I feel like that is a color that is an absolute must. I don't need these covers. They don't even need to put these in here. I would have been just fine without it. It's not like it works anyway. It doesn't really keep the paint. But I'll find a way to repurpose it. Maybe we'll use it to do something. I don't know. Okay. So Dioxazine Purple. There we go. Quin Gold, which I feel is another essential. Just like having the burnt sienna, you have to have a Quin Gold. Just like you have to have a burnt sienna. Then green gold is not an essential, no, PY129, but I love that it's like a single pigment, and I'm excited to try it because there's good life fast and it's nice. Green gold is an interesting color, especially if you're doing florals. Cobalt Teal, of course I wanted this. PG50. That's going to be great. I don't know if these colors granulate or not. You guys could tell me that because I am completely new to core. Quin Magenta is my favorite in the Roman Schmal set by far, so it will be interesting to swatch this one against that one and see what they're like. PR122. I wonder if the Quin Magenta is PR122 in the Roman Schmal set. I need to get the pigment information for them. PO71 Transparent Pyrrole Orange. A lot of people use this orange, and I have not been a big orange user in my paintings, but because I mix my own oranges. But just recently I acquired a bunch of oranges, as you can see over here, with the Schmincke wooden box set and then the wooden box set from the Roman Schmal. So I figured let's try the core Pyrrole orange. Transparent is always a good thing in oranges. I don't really like opaque oranges at all, so transparent would be important. So just going over this set, it has Hansa yellow in it, which is a beautiful yellow. It's somewhere in between the lemon and like a little bit more. Like if it was a lemon yellow, it would be really cool. And if it were a cad yellow, it would be really warm, or a nickel azo, really warm. The Hansa yellow I find is like midway in between. You can see it in the sample. It's pretty bright, pretty fluorescent, but at the same time, it's got a little bit of the warmth. It mixes. Oh, and by the way, I put the magnets on the bottom of these and they stick great, literally, but the paint doesn't dry very quickly. And I noticed in my samples, I had to put, it took a while for these to dry. And even with the thing, look, they still want to stick to here. So I'm just going to leave them like this, just so that we can ship them to you guys so you can go play with them. Pyrrole Red Light is in this one. This is in the introductory. It also comes with an ultramarine. So it's got all the basics to mix everything you need, as well as an alizarin crimson. And the alizarin crimson in this one I'm curious about, because usually permanent alizarin crimson hasn't really been the most light fast color across different companies. So I'm wondering if Core has made, when it says good, I wonder if it's a really tested alizarin crimson or if it's just so-so as far as light fast. But I find that if you're going to make watercolor for print, then a good light fast rating, or less than that, is fine. But if you're going to sell your work, I would stick to colors that have a highlight fast rating, or say excellent on the rating right there, because you just don't want to take chances. You know, like I've had some that say, oh, they won't fade for like 10, 20 years, but then you put them in the light and literally you see some fading. And then I've had others that say they do fade, and I put them in the light and I still haven't seen them fade. I do always spray my watercolor art with PV, like a PV protected spray across it, because I always want to try and protect it as much as I can, you know. But this is going to be fun to just dive down the core. I did do a sample video of these, so if you would like to see that, you can see it on the channel. All right, let's open another one. Okay, are you excited? Yeah, that's right. I got 3 of these. So it was a lot to narrow down as far as which ones I wanted to get for these. I was very, very like on the fence. I almost got more than this, but then I was like, well, I just can't justify getting more than 3. So what I ended up getting, and I see that they have made an error. No, they haven't. They haven't. Oh, that's weird. Okay, good. They got it right. I was just wondering, because on the back of here, it actually looked like they got the wrong thing. So I got the Shire set, as you know, the Deep Sea set, and the Great Glacier set, which a lot of you guys ended up ordering. Let's open the Shire set first so we can see what's in this. I'm excited about the Shire set. I'm not only a big fan of the Hobbits, Lord of the Rings, so this was really appealing to me, especially thinking of, I don't know, thinking of perhaps drawing scenes from the Hobbit. This one comes with Shire Yellow, Shire Olive, Shire Green, Shire Blue, Shire Gray. Ooh, 15 mLs. Yum. This looks so good. I'm excited. Isn't that funny when we talk about watercolor? It almost sounds like we're talking about food. I hope the colors are just like this. It's hard to tell on a lot of people's videos, but I'll be doing some in-depth swatches for you guys in multiple ways, through stories and posts and paintings, as well as here on the channel and video. I wonder how many of these colors are single pigment. It would be interesting to know if any. PY159 and PV62, PY159 and PV35, PY159 and PG18, PY159 and PG or PB29 and PG26, PY159 and PB74 and PBK11. So the black appears again, once again, in Shire Gray. Okay, terribly excited. Oh my gosh. So you're going to see separate videos for each one of these, so don't worry. They're coming up. Coming up, I'll be diving into them. I'll be mixing them with all kinds of different colors to see what happens and see what kind of range we can get if we further mix them. I will be getting to know these colors in depth, because now that I have taken the dive down the rabbit hole, you know that that's just going to keep going for like this whole year. Okay, Schmincke. This is the Super Granulation Glacier set. So in this one, we have Glacier Blue, Glacier Turquoise, Glacier Green, Glacier Brown, and Glacier Black. Curious if these are very, very similar to the Deep Sea, and I know you are too, right? Is that your question? So let's just open these and take a look. So let's grab the Deep Sea Black and the Glacier Black. So on the Glacier Black, it's PBK11 and PB35. On the Deep Sea Black, it's PBK11, PB35, and PB74. So very close, but just adding one more color gets you that nice thing, but it's a whole tube of paint, you know, keep in mind. So it's pretty fun. I know there's not going to be a comparison here, but there might be a comparison here. This is the Glacier Brown, which is PBR6 and PG26. The Glacier Green, let's compare it to the Sea Green. So the Glacier Green is PR233 and PG50, and the Glacier or the Deep Sea Green is PG18 and PB29, so they are not similar. Interesting. Then we have Glacier Turquoise, and let's light it up compared to, I don't know, maybe this one again, the Deep Sea Green, possibly. PG50 and PV16, nope, not at all. So close to this one. PG50, PV16, and PV29. All right, so this one, Glacier Turquoise, is close to Deep Sea Blue. The only thing is that they have taken the same formula, the PG50 plus PV16, and added PB29, which is a nice, beautiful, probably ultramarine to make it. And then Glacier Blue is PB29 and PG50. Pretty simple. Probably the closest to this one. Yeah, I would say the closest to the Deep Sea Blue. So the Glacier Blue and the Deep Sea Blue are almost identical, with the exception of PV16, which is added to Deep Sea Blue. Pretty interesting, huh? So you see how they do that? So they literally have started by taking two granulating colors and mixing them together. So in your wood box set, you would have the original color. And then in the granulating sets, you would have a mix of two or more of the colors. And as you get the different sets, it would be adding a color. So like, you know, one of them, I do hear though in the Volcano, there are a couple that are single pigment colors. In here, in this set, there are no single pigment colors, and neither in this set. In the Shire, I don't believe there was either, right? So, but that wouldn't be, that of course wouldn't be super granulating if they were single pigments, because the idea behind super granulating is it's two or more granulating pigments. Are there any close ones in here minus the yellow that is added? I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, if you take the PG50, there is, I think there was one. Wasn't there one? No, I guess not. They didn't use PG50 at all. I'm trying to think of what the number was that was, I think it was PG18 that I saw, and the PBK11, which is the black. But aside from that, the Shire is really unique to both of these. Like, I don't really see any similarities, not much at all. So the Shire would be a really unique set to get. I believe the Volcano is a really unique set to get too, because I think the yellow in the Volcano is a single pigment yellow that's granulating, and the red in the Volcano is a single pigment red. The only thing is I believe it's more of a tomato color red, and I'm not a very big tomato color red person. I like the bluer reds, and that's why I kind of ruled that out. And I feel like there's not really much that can replace my azul yellow. I don't really love the look so far of the yellow in the Volcano set, but again, that's just me. So this is why I made these choices. Okay, and lastly, let's get rid of this box. Looks like my, I ordered this separate. The Tundra Rose. So in my choice, I don't know, in my choices, I was almost going to order the Tundra set, and I probably on the next sale will get the Tundra set, but I wanted to kind of dive into these. I needed to pick three. And since I was so on the fence, I figured, well, let's just buy Tundra Pink, because I can make all the other colors, and at least I get Tundra Pink because I love Tundra Pink. But that was the only color that I really felt like I was missing out on in the Tundra set, even though they look gorgeous. And it should be said that if I like all of these, I'm definitely going to get the Tundra set on the next sale. Then we have Roman Schmal, because I'm just insanely infatuated with Roman Schmal. So here's the new colors that I am additionally adding to my set. Ultramarine Violet. And for those of you who are into pigment, this is PV15 and it's granulating. Can't wait to use that one. I love their Dioxazine Violet, is so amazing. And their Mineral Violet is, this Mineral Violet is like my favorite color. I love it. Hope I'm not squishing the samples here. And keep this here so that we can compare. The next one is Cherry Quin Red. This looked amazing, and seeing as their Scarlet Red and their Pyro Red are out of this world bright, I wanted to try the Cherry Quin Red. Also, Quin Magenta is like one of my favorite colors now on here. And then I just received this new one. Where is it? I thought it was in here. No, I received Potter's Pink, and then, oh, there it is. And then this one, which I swatched on the last video, and it's beautiful, by the way. Really, really beautiful. There's my husky. She's the appearance of Misty Mischief. Quinacridone Fuchsia is that one. Okay, so that's a new color. I'm taking these two at a time, by the way, and opening them very slowly. Phthalo Turquoise. I do not have a Phthalo Turquoise here. I only have a Phthalo Blue. So I was kind of hoping to add a turquoise because you only have like an ocean blue. So there's that. But I did find this one, which I swatched on one of my last videos. And I believe it's Cobalt. Okay, Misty, you cannot have the paint. Just back off. Back off, Misty. It's my husky. I have two of them, and they've relocated to my room because I'm on camera. I don't know what happened to the little wrapper for the turquoise one. I don't think this is called turquoise. I think it's called sea blue, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. But it's in my, I'll put it in the description below for you guys. Misty, stop. Ultramarine Pink. I thought this was going to be a great bluey shade of pink because I really only have the Magenta Violet and the Quinacridone. Stop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You better knock it off, Misty. You know what she's after, right? She's after this. She wants that. She can smell it. This palette that came from Beam Paints is real wood, and she wants that so badly. It's like her nighttime ritual to try and come and ambush my studio and grab it. Ultramarine Intense, I thought would be a really good addition because I have French Ultra and I have Cobalt Blue. But now that I'm sinking deeply into these colors, I needed like almost all the blues they had because I'm just spoiled that way. And it was my birthday. So Cobalt Cerulean Blue I have. Now I have Ultramarine Intense and Aquarius Cobalt Blue. I know. But you'll find out which one you like. Phthalo Turquoise. Watch my reviews because you'll find out which ones are best for you. At the end of the day, we're talking about $3 to $5 per full pan. So this is not a lot of money. It's really well priced. Prussian Blue, and it's amazing paint. And then I ordered a Paris Blue by Schmincke because I actually don't have this blue, and I'm really surprised. I was looking at the list of colors and I was like, how come I don't have it? You know what's interesting to me too is like how much bigger these look. These Roman Schmal look significantly larger. Don't they look bigger maybe to you? I don't know. I feel like they look bigger. Maybe it's just the wrapping. We'll see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so I turned off my phone. Sorry about that. All right, guys, so which ones shall we swatch first? As I literally have a husky on my feet now. Let's put this one over here. I think we'll actually take all of these and we will put them in here for future videos. Let's put that there, clean up a little bit, and decide which one we should start with, because we may as well get a little swatching in real quick with one of these as I start my new swatching, granulating swatching notebook. I'm curious why. You know what I never understood about this thing? Okay, so the 400 series paper, the front of the paper is smooth and the back of the paper is rough. And I prefer the back of the paper. And I never understood why they did it that way. Because, like, if you look at my previous swatch cards, there's the back of the paper. You see how it's so nice with the granulation? And then the swatches on the front of the paper are good, but they're so smooth. So I almost feel like everything I do on the front has to be one thing, but like I almost feel like I always want to use the back of this paper to swatch. So guess what? We're starting on the back because that's just the way I roll. I actually like the back of the, what is it, 400 series? And this is why I don't paint on Stratford, like to actually paint. I just paint on my Arches paper. Hey, this is a good time to test out the Animula book. Don't you think? Is this like, oh, it's not, it doesn't have, well, it does have tooth. Yeah, it does. Let's go ahead and use this nice little toothy piece of paper here and do some swatching on it. Why not? Because it's here. Okay, so I need a good swatching brush, and I believe what I'm going to use, I want to use a great big brush, but I think I'll use something that's like not too big. It's middle of the road. This is good. So this is the 10 Ultimo Escoda from the travel brush set. So since we got this little nice little tundra pink here, let's just start. This is Schmincke Super Granulating. Just put some lines on my paper just very quickly so we can see what's going on with the coverage. And on this first page, I'm just going to swatch right across. So we have a nice big swatch. That should be enough. Okay, should we fill pans while I'm here? So we have them. Unfortunately, I can't fill all of the pans because I don't have any extras. I've just been a pan filling bandit. Okay, so this first one is number 982, and it's Tundra Rosa or pink. Let's write down the colors. So PB 29 and PR 233. All right, it's good. It looks like it's mixed well. By the way, if you open your tubes and you see that there is binder kind of coming out first, like that clear, oily kind of look, then just take a pin or something very thin and just mix it in the tube. Because sometimes that will happen. It doesn't mean it's old. It doesn't mean anything. Just depends on what's going on with the formula. Sometimes that just happens. Nice. So I always try to fill the corners really, really well by forcing the paint in. Put a nice big dollop there. I believe you get from these 15 mLs, if I'm not wrong, I believe you get 3 full pans, but I'm not sure. I feel like you would. You guys can let me know. All right, here's the time. It hasn't had a chance to dry, so I don't know about the re-wetting. Oh yeah, I'm so glad I got this. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. So when you swatch granulating colors, you want to first lay it down in more of the mass tone, but then you want to leave some room and just add some water, because if there's a mix of colors in these, they're not really going to come out in the mass tone. They're going to come out in the lighter areas. They're going to split. So that's really what you want to do. So again, let's do it over here on the Animula. See, I can see the other shades. So I just take my brush and I go right across with the mass tone, and then just start adding water to let it separate. And if you want to add a little more before it dries, you can. You can play with that too. Misty, you need to stop. Stop it. Oh my God, she's so cute though. She's seriously adorable. The appearance of Misty. And then I just kind of like let it go around a little bit. You know, sometimes I move it along just to encourage the little granulation, because there's going to be like big granulation and smaller granulation. So give it time, give it room. I always say give it room. This is a good swatch too, because this has like the mass tone at the beginning and then it lightens up and you can see all the different, oh my gosh. All right, Misty, you need to stop. Sorry, guys. That's what having huskies is all about. They get naughty after midnight. Tundra pink. I mean, really? Get your fingers out of the paint. I'm gonna pause in my paint. Stop. Knock it off. Enough. Okay. I love this Animula. The Animula? Is that it? Animula paper? I'm so in love with my sketchbook already. It's just beautiful. Look at how nice the granulation. So this is definitely, I'm going to use this for the granulation sketchbook. And this paper actually performed really well, but it's the back side of the paper. It would not have had this really nice texture showing up with the granulation to play upon if I would have used the other side. What you're seeing are those lines are the manufactured lines from manufactured paper. It's not 100% cotton, so it's got a lot more sizing. And so the difference is when you do 100% cotton, the granulation is a lot more dramatic and it spreads with the water really beautifully, where here it just kind of stays put and it kind of sits on the surface when you're seeing the difference. You see what I mean? I don't know if you can see it, but see how it doesn't spread. It actually leaves streaks, but then in 100% cotton paper, it does the job for you. And this will continue to keep working on my behalf. That's why we never want to use hair dryers on your paper. But on cheaper paper, you know, it streaks and it doesn't really keep working or doing anything or evolving or developing, where this one does. And that's why I make my own sketchbooks. Right there. Right there. Okay, so I put the dog in the other room and I wrote down the colors so that you didn't have to sit here while I write down the colors. So I'm going to do the glacier set because I thought this would be a really good choice to start off with, and I'm kind of most excited about this set, you know what I mean? So it looks like it's really well mixed already. Boy, it's a beautiful color. You know, I'm just going to go ahead down the road and just put the swatches down for each of these because, oops, if they dry, it's not a big deal, you know. Wonder if I can, hang on. If I wet it, it's going to spread. So we'll just do that. Glacier green. So far, they're not bursting out. Let me see if this one has. No, looks good. That one could use a little mixing, but it's okay. No, it's fine. So that's the Glacier Green, Glacier Brown. Ooh, one's out. That one's a lot more fluid. And Glacier Black, which I couldn't wait to get to. Ooh, this one's really fluid too. Okay, so that's how I swatch because I like just a nice big amount of color. Clean brush. Let's go for it and see what happens. Can you guys see really well? Here, let me get you closer. How's that? Yeah. Looks good. So I'm just getting this nice and wet, trying for mass tone at the top and on the front side of it, and then letting it spread a little bit. It's interesting to see the differences in the papers, isn't it? I mean, by far, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Look at your colors do, you know, I forgot to tell you that, you know, with 100% cotton, your colors go a long way. Like if you notice, it's not nearly as concentrated, yet this was the same dot, and look at how the color just carries so fluidly across the paper. So you use actually less watercolor on more expensive paper, and it's really more of a delightful process. It really is. Yeah. Do you see the difference? See how bright it is? It's much brighter. Same paint, same swatch. Much, much brighter. Amazing, right? So I'll keep you guys there. Here's the next one. Glacier Turquoise. So I'm just kind of re-wetting it a bit, and we'll carry it across. Stunning. I'm going to use this one a lot. It's actually pretty. There we go. It dried up a little bit. Okay, so you see how that went down, right? I'll show you how this one goes down. So this is the 100% cotton Anamula paper. I will link this paper below so you can get a pack of it and try this yourself. So now let's add water, and you'll see. You see how it just kind of spreads down so evenly, so beautifully. That's the beauty of really nice quality paper. And this is actually more expensive than the Arches paper that I use. We'll do a paper comparison as well video. I have plans to do that, just so you can see the different papers, because I have quite a few of them in right now. Glacier Green. So got to re-wet it more. It does really sit on the surface. Beautiful color though. So if you notice, I'm kind of having to scrub a little bit on this paper, and it doesn't really travel like it should. So you don't really get the best out of your paints on cheaper paper. In fact, I feel like, you know, this is a good reminder of how they do kind of work against you. I'm going to try and encourage some of the separating in the colors. Yeah, it's even easier to re-wet. Now, watch this. Look at that beautiful. It's crazy, right? You just get you get a much different effect. You see what the color was meant to be, was meant to do, you know? It's like it was built for the nicer papers, professional watercolors. Just, there's no comparison. I mean, get yourself, you know, a pack of 12 sheets and make a sketchbook, or just bind them together with some clamps, and literally you'll end up with, you know, front and back, tons of paper to paint on while you're learning. You may as well. I always say, you know, learn on the best paper, swatch on the best paper. You get so much more out of your watercolors that way. I know a lot of people don't preach that, but I've tried it every way, and you just really don't get the same experience. I think one of the reasons why I love watercolors is because of the way that I paint and how forgiving the good papers are, because they just keep developing and working for you, and it's really fun, you know? Okay, so there's the Glacier Brown. That's a beautiful color. I'd like to see what the other colors in here look like, but I don't know that I'm going to get that on this paper, because it doesn't look like it's wanting to develop. So let's see what it does here. Look at that. It just spreads so quickly. Okay. And whoosh. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. I could do a wash, like boom, on this paper. There's nothing like a wash on a really good paper. It's so much fun to do, and you can add colors and just do so much. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, so on this paper, I'm seeing the other tones right away. They're showing up immediately. On this paper, it dried really fast, and it didn't really get a chance to develop like it's getting to develop here. You can see how we're getting a nicer mix of tones and some really interesting looking granulation. You know, I notice a big difference in it. It's amazing. Okay, here's the black. Now this shouldn't just be the black. It should have different tones in it, but I'm not seeing them at all yet. Let's see if we see them here. I like the shades of the gray that come out when I do it on this paper. Definitely makes the color look better. You know what I mean? So you can see on this side, let me back it out just a bit. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so you can see on this side, the colors look warmer and brighter on the 100% cotton paper. And on the Strathmore, the cheaper paper that's not 100% cotton, it didn't separate at all on this. It kind of did a good job with the green, but not as bright and not as much granulation as showing. On the Glacier Brown, it was like a bust. It definitely did not show what Glacier Brown should be. On here, it's granulating really nicely, and I'm getting those different color values. The Glacier Black did nothing for it here, but here it's starting to separate. I'm getting some little granulation specks, and it's becoming a lot more interesting. I'm not seeing like any blues or anything in it. I see a little bit of a run in there, so that's interesting, but I'll have to, the jury's out on the Glacier Black. I think I'm actually going to use this to mix with other colors, you know, so like maybe if we took some Tundra Pink and some Glacier Black, and just mix them together on paper. Let's see what comes of it, because I'm not seeing the PB35 yet at all, but that's nothing. I have to put it in a pan first before I can really tell you. Okay, let's see what happens. So I'm just going to mix the two little dots together here, and then we're going to go across. So that's like the mass tone, spreading the granulation across, then wet it. How's that for beautiful? It's a really nice moody shade. This is going to be fun to paint with in winter, because it's going to show up with all of those shades of maroon and pinks. That's lovely. We could actually put another shade in here. Would be fun to put, what was it? It was this one. Is it in here? Yeah. If we put a little mineral violet from, you could also use cobalt violet from Schmincke. It's good. Or you could use ultramarine violet from Schmincke, would be good too. But I'm going to use the mineral violet that I like from Roman Schmal. Yeah, that's God. I love it. That's beautiful. Isn't that nice? So that was, so it's still got the qualities of the pink shades from the Tundra. If I could do a whole wash with this, we would see a lot more of the Tundra qualities come out. I love that. Let me write that down. That's what I like to do. So my granulating series is going to be all about mixing the colors up. So this is Glacier Black, Tundra Pink, and Mineral Violet. Lovely. I will make a note to link up these colors below. If you love this color and you want to mix it for yourself, you could even just get like a tube or a pan of each one of these colors, and just to be able to have it. If you mix it in a tube though, like if you get the tubes, you could make like 3 pans of it for the price, you know? So like it kind of works out better, especially if you're buying on one of their sales. So just add it to your cart, or if you can't wait like me, just get it right away. But that is gorgeous. See, that's why I mix my own. But so you can see these are stunning, right? But like if you add one more color to them, they're extra stunning. They're out of this world stunning, and you would have colors that nobody else has. And that's what this whole sketchbook is going to be about, is just testing out these colors, but also like mixing my own versions of them, because there's so much that you can do. I mean, look at how beautiful and bright this is just by adding one extra color to it. It's really, really pretty. I mean, we could basically take the brown too and add the mineral violet. Look, would be stunning as well. That would be another really beautiful mix, you know, really pretty. Okay, so that's my Jackson's haul for today and the beginning of swatching. You learned a little bit about paper too here with me. And it was good as a reminder, because I keep forgetting to mention the differences in why I paint with these papers and make these little sketchbooks for myself. They're really not that hard. I have one video of gluing a sketchbook together. So if you want to actually do it with glue, you can, absolutely, without sewing, or you can just kind of learn to do the stitching like I'm doing, processing it, or like I said, just get some clamps and cut sheets, or, you know, fold the papers into those little values and then clamp them together, and it's basically the same thing. I have a lot of different ways that I've done it, but I just love it. It's so much worth. It's just worth it, you know, painting on good paper. All right, guys, have a good day. Tell me which colors you like first, and if you got any of the Schmincke Horadam super granulating colors, or if you're mixing your own, I would love to see it. Join the Facebook group and share what you know. Talk to you later. Bye.